Good evening, everybody. Hi, welcome. Welcome to Sunday Night at 9. Sunday Night at 9. I'm Rufus Carpenter with your co-host and host, Coach Glenda Driver. Hey, Coach Glenda.
Good
You ready for a
evening.
great night?
Yes, I am.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Every Sunday night at 9, we get together for this Sunday night at 9, which is a chance for us to talk about open discussions about relationship and relationship matters. The format is that you and 20 of your girlfriends are in the den or in the living room and you having a frank conversation about relationships. And that conversation is in a real good safe space where you can enjoy your conversations and you guys can talk freely from the heart and you can be vulnerable. You can let it out because you don't know who you might be helping. Tonight's topic, we have a real good topic. But before we get to tonight's topic, let me give you a little bit about my background and why I'm here. Again, my name is Rufus Carpenter, and my entry into this space is a little different than most. My background started in a 3-bedroom house with 14 siblings and 1 bathroom. My family knew what scarcity meant every day. We never had enough. It was always a struggle. And can you imagine 4 of your siblings in the bed and then dealing with the occasional bedwetter? Oh, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. But with that, we learned the human connection. The human connection was key. So we learned that. Now, fast forward 27 years, I was married to the same woman. I was married for 27 years. And if you know anything about marriage, you learn what it is to compromise. You learn what it is to trust. You learn how to communicate. And you learn a few things about commitment and forgiveness. Now, those lessons are great for a successful marriage, but these are the things that have you understand a deeper human connection in relationships. Lastly, my background was developed by the United States military. The United States Army trained me to be what's called an equal opportunity race relation leader, where I had the responsibility of dealing with everything relationship issues and concerns within my unit. There, I learned to deal with human connections in a diverse background and diverse environment. So I feel very comfortable talking about what we're talking about tonight. And tonight's topic is Black Woman's Love Life Checkup. Black Woman's Love Life Checkup. Now, when you're talking about a love life checkup, no matter whether you're Black or any woman, this is something that's very thoughtful and a very empowering process. And you get a chance to reflect on your personal desires, relationship goals, experience, and well-being in the context of romantic or intimate relationships and settings. Here's some of the things we're going to consider tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about self-reflection and self-love. We're going to talk about relationship goals and expectations. We're going to talk about communication and barriers. We're going to talk about the dating experience. We're going to talk about support systems. We're going to talk about personal growth and happiness. We're going to talk about dealing with societal expectations and stereotypes. We're going to deal with on and offline dating. We're going to deal with safety and well-being. And then we're going to round out with your future plans. So let's get started. Let's talk about self-reflection and self-love. Okay, I want to emphasize the importance of self-reflection, self-love, because one has to understand your own needs and desires and what your boundaries are. This is crucial because if you don't know what your boundaries are, you don't know what you're going to take and not take. And a lot of times your boundaries aren't so much for the person that you're dealing with. A lot of times your boundaries are for yourself. Because a lot of times you put yourself in tights because I don't want to hurt nobody's feeling, or maybe that was a one-off. Maybe that ain't gonna happen. But when you're talking about dealing with another person, you have to set boundaries so you both can know what the limits are. And it really helps because when you start putting that and assessing your own identity, that makes a difference. And then for a Black woman, it's really difficult sometimes because some of the experiences that Black women have shared with me in relationships and how things influence the expectations of what's supposed to be going on in a relationship, some of it is eye-opening. You got anything you want to share about that, Glenda, before I move on to the next topic?
You can keep going.
Okay, so that was self-reflection and self-love. Once again, you have to understand your value and your worth in a relationship. A lot of times, the boundaries you place are crucial in that they protect you as well as the next person. Next up, topic under this, relationship goals and expectations. When you consider, what do you want out this point of life? You're a woman in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or 60s, or 50s. What do you want out of life in terms of relationship? What are your goals and expectations? Do you expect to be single? Do you expect to be married? Or do you expect to be booed up? What's your expectations? You got to look at your expectation. A lot of times your expectations come from stage in life, how old you are, whether you're in your 20s or whether you're in your 60s. It comes from personal growth. What are the things that you've seen? What have you grown into? Have you grown into the fact that, hey, I don't need anybody else. I can do this all by myself. I've got my support in front of me. I've already got my house. I got my car, great job, great career, got a little money in the bank. I can do it. I don't need anybody. I mean, where you are in life, what are your expectations? And a lot of times this is shaped by your past experiences. If you've been divorced a couple of times and this girl or this guy cheated on you and you're not sure, you're like a turtle, you stick your head up in a relationship and see which way it's going because you don't really know, so you want to defend yourself. That being alone might be the answer. But if you're like me, that want to be loved,
Mr. Marshmallow.
and love intimacy, then you're definitely going to want someone else in your life. Now, that's someone else, whether it's someone that's close to your age, or someone that's different, someone that has shared the same values you share, someone that likes the same type of things you like to do, someone that likes to stay in shape, or someone that likes to go fishing, or someone that likes to stay in the house all the time, or someone want to go dating all the time or travel. It's what your expectations are and goals in a relationship. Glenda, tell me some of your goals in relationship. What are some of the things that's important to you in relationships?
Currently, as of today, my expectation in a relationship is that someone can meet me where I am. Someone that is not trying to change me, someone that can accept me for who I am and where I am in life. If I met you and I was in college pursuing a degree, or if I'm on this, career, ladder trying to move up in a company, if we meet at that point while I'm on my personal and my career journey, I want you to accept me for who I am and what I'm trying to accomplish. Don't try to manipulate me, make me feel like I'm neglecting you. We're not spending enough time together because you knew this before we began. So if someone can meet me where I am at in life, that is a great start for me. That is my expectation, for you to accept me for who I am and where I am at in life at that particular time. The guy that I currently date now, we both met each other at very low times in our relationship. We were first friends for like 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on it. But we were at two different levels in our own lives. We were trying to move up the ladder in our careers. I was still trying to get a degree in college. But what made us work so well together after those 5 years of just being friends, he accepted me and I accepted him for who he was and what he had and what he didn't have. So we was able to build on that. There was no manipulation. There was no one trying to change the other. You know, we motivated and encouraged each other throughout our friendship, which led to a relationship. But at the same time, too, when I think on my past relationships, the other men always tried to make me feel guilty for what I was trying to accomplish. They always, oh, you don't never have time for me because you're always either at work or you're always studying. It's always something. I'm like, okay, and what are you trying to say? We're not married, so I have to do this for myself because there's no guarantees about you and I tomorrow. Because, you know, based off of what you're saying, you could pretty much dump me within the next 15, 20 minutes. But I still have to pursue my education and still try to climb this career ladder to get where I need to be because I don't have a spouse. I don't have that second income. So why are you trying to change me? And why are you trying to make me feel bad for what I think is a good thing? I mean, I had a boyfriend that told me he broke up with me because he said that I was too goal oriented. And I was like, wow, I never heard that one before, but okay, I will accept it. But that was good because he was honest with himself that he couldn't take it anymore. But he wasn't trying to help me either. So at the same time, my expectation is meet me where I'm at. Accept me for who I am. I'm almost, 100 years old. You can't expect for me to act the same way as I would right out of high school or coming from my parents' house. I'm already established. So some men and women need to look at that when they're dating or in their selection process. You're not dating someone that is, 9 times out of 10, you're not dating someone that's just coming out of their parents' house, right after graduation or right after they get out of college. You're meeting a seasoned man and woman that has either, established their own credit. They have, they're way up there on the career ladder at their job. They're probably making maybe between $50,000 to $100,000. You can't expect for them to lower their standards just to be with you because you're not where they're at. And, I may have said a little too much, but as far as my expectations, I think I pretty summed it up pretty well.
Yeah, you did. And you cover some good things in your summation there. You cover some great things. One of the first things you covered early on, when you said you and your current boyfriend, or boo, y'all were friends for a very long time. And since y'all were friends for a very long time, that's what we call runway. That runway between the time you guys were friends to lovers was long enough that you got to know each other. So that was great. And that helps your selection process. And we'll talk more about that when we get into the dating part of this conversation. But that runway, he got to know you and you got to know him. And then y'all became romantically inclined. So that was great. That was awesome. Now, the second part of what you said is the one guy along the way gave up and said he couldn't cope. And that was a great thing because that was communication. And our next topic is communication and boundaries. I forgot to tell everybody, hey, welcome everybody. I forgot to welcome everybody in. Hey, glad to see you. Glad to be you could be a part of this tonight. Once again, I don't know if you know our format, but our format is that Glenda and I, we talk a little bit about things. You can get in for as much or as little as you want to. You can be part of the conversation by either just chiming in or raising your electronic hand or raising your own hand or just come in and start talking. We ask that you be a part as much as you want. You don't have to have your camera on or you can have your camera on. Totally up to you. This is an interactive chance where we all share. This is a safe space. We want you to look at it as 20 of your girlfriends are in your living room and you guys just having a frank conversation about relationships. And this is a healthy place for you to get some of the things out. Because a lot of times when you hear yourself say things, it mean more, it internalizes inside you. That spaced repetition type of learning comes into play, okay? Now, Glenda was talking about her expectations. And one thing in her speech, she just said that one guy she was going with had to buy out. He communicated to her that he couldn't handle it. She was too goal orientated, I think is what Glenda said. And that takes us to our next category in this. And the night's topic is Black women's love life checkup. Glenda, did you tell them about the handout that's in the what you call it?
No, I didn't, but everyone, I did put the handout for tonight in the chat. So if you want to download it and save it to your documents, so you'll be able to follow along, that would be great. As well as I put our Facebook name that you can join our Facebook community for Reset to Healthier Relationships. I would love for everyone to join so they can keep up to date with all of our upcoming open discussions and our blogs and our future topics that we may talk about in the near future, as well as you can instant message us on our Facebook page and make topic suggestions so we can add them to our lineup throughout the year. Okay,
and now back to that. When he told you that and you guys communicated, that's our next topic, which is communication and boundaries. When you communicate with someone in a relationship, that creates a healthy foundation of a relationship that you can communicate in, and you know where you stand, you know where your partner stand, is very, very healthy. And in that, you got to have boundaries, because that one dude that told you that, Glenda, he knew he couldn't get beyond that boundary. He knew he was at his limit. So he bowed out, and it was great because you guys parted as friends. No hard feelings. You know, you see him, you don't roll your eyes or throw bricks at his car. You know, you guys got out great. So that's great. That's awesome.
We don't talk, but I don't throw bricks at his car.
That's funny. But communication is key. That's the foundation in a relationship. If you communicate, you can work it out. Because communicating in a relationship, that's how you grow. Because when you communicate, you give so much of yourself. And honest communication is the key. If truthful and honest communication, you got. Anybody in our audience want to share anything about communication and boundaries before we go to the next part of this topic? Anybody want to share anything before we move on?
And no, you don't have anything?
Huh? Well, I was just going to comment on honesty and communication. Mm-hmm. So I thought that, you know, it won't work if you're not honest, because I feel like when a person is not honest, you're just playing games. You're wasting time.
Exactly.
So honesty.
Awesome. Hey, Regina, I thought we lost you. You're my favorite friend. Hey, Regina, welcome back. Okay, now anybody else? Nobody else got anything to enter about communication and boundaries? If you don't, we're going to go into dating experiences. Oh, my Lord. Dating experiences. And when you talk about dating experience, you talk about your current relationships and your past dating relationships. This is where you get back to reflect. Everybody should share in this one, because I'm sure everybody dated somebody somewhere. Now, this is awesome because you get to reflect back on what was good, some of the good dates, and some of the challenges. And the reason why you want to do that, because where you are right now in your love life was really shaped by some of your past relationships. Some of the past things that were really nice, and some of the past things that hurt you and made you put your guard up and made you have that boundary and made you stick to them boundaries. So let's talk about it. Now, I can share. My heart is so open right now because I've had wonderful relationships. My dating has been great. I've met some truly beautiful people, and they have shaped me and let me know that there's love out there, that there's some genuine, great people out there that want to meet you, want to enjoy you, want to share some time, and want to boo up. So let somebody else talk about it, because I talk a lot. Who else wanted to share about their dating experiences and expectations? Nobody? Oh, Regina, I see you smiling, Regina. Come on, you got to say something, Regina. Tell me something.
She has to unmute herself first.
Unmute, Regina, unmute. You muted.
She came off. What you got? What you got for us,
She's
Regina?
muted. She's still muted. There you go. Now, try it now. I can't hear her.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Are you not muted? Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what's up. Hold on. Regina. You're unmuted. Is your mic up?
Did she leave and is she trying to come back on?
No, I don't know. Let me see. She's there, right there. Can you say
okay.
something, Regina?
No.
We can't hear you. All right, Regina, we can't hear you. You can work on and we're not muted on my end. Sorry about that. But who's Motorola? Motorola, you gonna say something? Okay, I thought Motorola was gonna talk. But Glenda, share some of your dating experience then, Glenda.
No, that's me, Rufus.
Oh, who's that?
Sister. Rufus, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
This is Sharon, your sister.
Yeah, I thought so. I know you got some dating stories to share.
Yeah, but y'all don't want to hear mine though. I'm
yes,
sure.
we do. Please
No,
share.
no, you don't. No, you don't. Well,
Glenda, no, we don't. Glenda, she right, we don't.
I want to. I want to.
No,
No,
well, you know.
Can you tell me
I'm not
one?
gonna say nothing bad.
No, we
Can
don't.
y'all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay.
No,
Well, you know, no, I'm not gonna say nothing bad, Rufus. I promise. Okay. No, you know, I have in my relationships, I have to be in control. I'm sorry, I just got to be in control. So that's just
The
the way
whole
it is.
relationship?
Pretty much.
Sir, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the guest.
Yes, this is me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the
Are
guest.
you currently dating?
No, I like my single lifestyle.
Oh, so you're another one that's happy with, being single.
Yes,
Because
being
Mr.
alone.
Carpenter makes it seem like, we're lying to ourselves if we're,
No,
if
we're
we're
not.
happy with our single life or not being married.
No, we're not lying to ourselves. You know, it's because I don't feel like I want to share my space.
Oh,
I,
that's a good point. What's wrong with
I
your
want.
face, Mr.
I don't want to
Carpenter?
share. I don't want to share somebody else's interests right now. I'm not saying I will always feel this way, but as of now, I don't. I like my individuality.
Okay, I like that. You worded that pretty well.
Question
like
is that from past past hurts, past, or that's something that you're building on something in the future? Or what got you to this point?
Well, no, it's just no. I don't have some beautiful relationships. I always been the one that's been the problem, not my partner. It's just that I'm just learning myself. I'm just taking time out to learn myself.
Well, at least she's honest.
Yeah, and sometimes you do need that break. If you keep going to the same brick wall, because they say we date the same person over and over and over. It's the same person, just different names.
No, you know what? For some reason, I always attract men that's just really over affectionate or something, over emotional. I can't handle that.
Are you talking about clingy?
Yeah, clingy and emotional and too attached. You know, I don't like that.
What's your definition of emotional? Are they crying?
They over affectionate or something. You know, always want to be up under me. I don't like that.
Yeah, I used to date someone like that. It didn't last long because I was like, I got to go to work.
Yeah, I don't like that. I like my space. When I sit down on the couch and look at TV, I want to lay down. I don't want you in my way.
I can understand that. You sound like my sister, to be honest. My sister's the same way.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah, that's the type I am. And plus, it's all about me. You know, I'm trying to learn myself. You know, I'm living life different now. And so it's about just being me.
I can respect that. She's being honest, Mr. Carpenter.
I understand. I that's my sister. I know her very well. So I know her very well. So, but what I want to pivot a little bit here, because in the same section, it asks the question about dating different cultures and different race. Would any of you consider dating a person of another race? Anybody?
I've considered it, but it never went anywhere. And I never met anyone. I always was open to it. I have a friend that she's big on dating Asian men. And I was like, okay. She said, Glenda, you should try dating outside your race. I said, I don't know. I'm just so used to my, African-American men, I mean, I'm not prejudiced, but I just prefer that. I think everybody has their own personal preference, but I was open at one point in my life, but it never went anywhere. It never took off. I'm content with what I have with an African American man.
So am I.
Okay, Andre, share your comment you just put up there, Andre. Share that comment because I haven't heard of that yet. Can you unmute? Come on, Andre.
If I heard her correctly, Taraji P. Henson was recently talking about her dating experiences, and she was just saying that she was fed up with American men.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is she currently dating someone?
You said Taraji?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But she's been frustrated with a lot of things lately, so I don't know if she's just venting, but that was one of her recent vents.
Okay. I heard something that she had said on, I think, talking to Steve Harvey, something similar. But yeah, I'm familiar with some of her comments, and it could be that she's venting. Who knows? But I'll tell you, the dating life it is no joke. When you get to a certain level in your life, it is no joke. It doesn't matter what nationality or what race. I mean, dating is no joke because, like Mr. Carpenter was saying, the expectations, when you look at someone like a celebrity, what their expectations are going into dating, I mean, they really have to be compatible on multiple levels for the relationship to work out, even to get past maybe the 6-month period. I mean, because they're more or less sometimes could be competing with one another. And then what if one's profession is different from the other? So you have the distance that you have to take into consideration. It's a lot of things that play. There are a lot of variables that play into the dating game here, nowadays, not just for celebrities, but for us everyday, men and women. It's a lot. It can be very stressful. I have a friend right now, she cannot land a good relationship, and it is so frustrating to her. And it's like, no matter what I say, she's not content with her single life. But I told her, until she's content with where she is by herself, she will never be a good partner to anyone, because she just wants to be in a relationship so bad. She is like, I wake up in the morning thinking about a relationship, I go to bed at night thinking, I'm like, girl, you about to OD on a relationship and you don't even have one. Come on, chill out. But at the same time, I'm trying to get her to start from the bottom. Honey, focus on yourself. Get delivered from some of your past relationships and your past hurts before the Lord can actually bless you with your knight in shining armor. Because right now you're too broken, because it's not going to benefit the other party, and it's definitely not going to benefit you because you're not where you need to be mentally. And she tells me she understands, but in reality, based off of her some of her text messages and some of our conversation, she is like, oh my God, when is Mr. Right coming along? I said, God holding them back because you're not ready for him yet.
And that's something you just hit on. In dating, our next one is support systems. In dating and trying to find somebody, that support system is very important. And it could be friends like yourself, Glenda, like you with your partner, your friend. You are friends with her, and you kind of coaching her and giving her some sound advice, even though she may or may not take it, but you doing your part to support her. And a lot of times, friends, family, and the community has that play. A lot of times, some communities help you, but they have single dances and single socials, and they sponsor things that you can go meet people at. So their family, sometimes the family had cookouts where they invite friends over. I've met somebody, my family had cookouts and barbecues, stuff like that, and I've met people that my brothers have invited over. And love is a wonderful thing. You don't know the next event can be where you can hook up with someone, or someone might be there, your boo might be there, or your soulmate may be there. You don't know, but this is why the community, your family and friends create a good a good support system. Because a lot of times, if you in the right environment and you and that person have a chance to connect, and Cupid just draw that bow back and hit both of you at the same time, a twofer, it works. Believe me, it works. So that support system is very well. Let's talk about personal growth and happiness.
Wait a minute, I have something to say. Andre just had a message there, said it was mentally exhausting. Well, and I'm sure it can be, because I feel like sometimes, you know, with this dating thing, they're going about it the wrong way, because the Bible has actually, and it's worth the investment to do it the way that God says to do it. He says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And after that, everything else will be added unto you, because he know what you need. He know the type of man or woman it is that you desire. He knows the end of the whole thing from the beginning. He knows what you like, how you like to be stroked. He knows just the right person for you. He knows everything about you. That's even sometimes I've got to work on my career, or I have to make this amount of money, or I'm climbing the ladder right now. No, he says, if you seek the kingdom, it's worth the investment to seek the kingdom, because it's his desire to give us all of that and more, because he's first. He's our first husband. He's our first spouse. So if we realize that it's worth the investment to do it his way, when it's time, he's going to see to it that you get the right connection, and you don't have to be mentally exhausted from going from, if it's a male, from woman to woman to woman, because this didn't work, or I didn't like that, or all this dating games, dating 101, dating 102. But if we would take the time and learn who you are first, Glenda, your friend, she would be horrible for a guy, because she got to first appreciate herself and do herself first, get to know herself before she would drain the man.
She would.
And I just learned something from you all. I never heard the word ghost. I've seen the movie Ghost, but she would be ghost all day long.
Yes. And I think that's what she's experiencing.
Relationship. And it's only because she don't know that it's worth the investment to do it the other way.
Right.
It moves from the secular right into the spiritual. You're working for houses, you're working for this job. But God said, if you seek him, if you spend time with him, he'll tell you what he have called you to do in life, really. But people don't want to do that. I mean, you can work, he said, work while it's day. You got to eat. If you don't work, you don't eat. You don't have nowhere to lay your head if you ain't working and paying your rent. So I'm not saying not to do the everyday Monday things, but if you know that he is worth the investment, and if we do it his way, there can be beautiful marriages and dating relationships that becoming friends first and then moving right into an intimate type of relationship. It's not impossible.
And I think I appreciate what you say, Angela, because that's part of personal growth and happiness. Because sometimes when you're young or first starting out, you don't understand God, and you don't understand God is a part of, not just a part of your you, but it's part of your relationship too. That you take God in your heart for you and into your relationship. And that relationship, a lot of people have to grow to that. A lot of people don't come out, leave their mother and father and have that foresight, or have that understanding, or have that relationship with God enough where they understand that. So that's part of that personal growth and happiness there. And then being equally yoked. A lot of times like that, because a lot of times you as a Christian lady may meet a person that may not have a great understanding or a journey with God like you have a journey with God. And you guys may connect.
Right. Okay, that's one of my prayer requests is I always say, God, I want a man that loves you more than he loved me. a spouse that loves God more than he would love me. Because if he loved God, he's going to love me. He's going to know how to love me, how to treat me. But if he loved him first and he have that openness and that ear to hear God, you know.
But sometimes, Angela, you might have to take that person on that journey with you. You might be the strength, you might be the religious strength in that relationship that bring that other person to God, know God. So a lot of times, relationship, you have your desires, but at the end of the day, what triggers what?
Yeah, well, I had, you know, I was married before, and he saw that, and that he liked, and he went along. But after a while, he, you know, when I sit back and assess the things, he wanted to straddle the fence. And you can't do that. And so, you know, I straddled, but anyway, I proceeded on, and I knew that I shouldn't have gotten married, but I did. Because I didn't want to be caught up in this thing. It's like, you know, I don't want to fornicate, and, you know, because I knew what scripture said. So we got married. And so now, you know, your husband and your wife, and it's talked about being unequally yoked, or if you're already married, how do you know that the way that you live isn't going to cause him to live better or to come up and to change?
A lot of times,
I even saw some of that happening. But then
a lot of times being an example.
Pardon me?
A lot of times being that example, being that witness, come to witness. You actually come to witness. Your witness and testimony sometime will bring a person with you, because that's how they're saved, by the blood and the testimony. So you can bring them with you. And and I don't want to get too religious on this, because but I don't want to preach on this. So yeah. I appreciate that.
At the end of the day, you know, and I did all of those things, and they came along, and I saw the improvement. I saw when, you know, a lot of things stopped and they were improving. But then they decided, nah, she's not going anywhere. And so I'm going to go ahead and do my thing outside of here. And I thought, oh no, the devil is a liar. But there's an answer to that in this book too, the same book.
Yep.
And I'm going to give you enough time. But then when I said, God, I can't see myself married and still being lonely for 20 years.
Like we got a text thread going on, so that's pretty good. Hey, do me a favor, Glenda, read Regina's post, that last post she said about another race. Because Regina, your mic still ain't on yet, right?
Well, she posted two.
One about another race.
Okay. It says, I'm exhausted, but I want to try another race in America before I say no more Americans.
Okay. All right. I think what she's saying is that she's been through a lot. And Regina, I don't want to know your age, Regina, but I think you in your 30s, something like that. So you have had, you're 20s or 30s. So, because I want to just kind of get a range of your dating range. Oh goodness, you look good. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so you've kissed quite a few frogs, huh? I get that. So I understand. I wish your mic was on, because if your mic was on, we could have a lot of fun. What did she say next, Glenda? What was her next text?
It says, to be honest, men just need to start telling I want sex only, and just let me say okay, so I can leave the guy alone. I think let me see. So I can say, I think it's not fair to our bodies to keep doing that. I agree.
Okay, I'm gonna answer.
But one second, Mr. Carpenter, before you say something, in regards to Regina's response, you know, men won't lead off with that because they know that it will stop them from getting the sex. So they have a hidden agenda. So they say, well, let me find a workaround around it so I can see if I can get some. So regardless of whether or not the relationship or the friendship work out, I done got what I wanted. Because they don't come into a new relationship like women do. They come out with their, their penis sticking up like a dog in heat. They think more about the sex than they do a commitment or a genuine relationship. What do you have to say about that, Mr. Carpenter?
Well, my thing is this. A lot of times I've heard women say what Regina said. Most women say that if you want the sex, just come out and say that so she can get an answer. She can decide whether she want to go the route or not. Give her the opportunity. But yet we come a different way. If a lot of times you can't come out the gate and say that, you first have to establish that there's something there. You got to first. If I want to say this the right way, I'm trying to say this the right way here. A lot of times men do want the sex. They do see you as a beautiful, attractive lady and say, damn, like they say, damn, and they want to try. But they know they can't come out and just say, hey, give me some, or do you want to do it? They know that. So it's a lot of times they want to start a relationship, and hopefully somewhere in that relationship that come up. Andre, help me out. Andre, help me out.
But they want the sex before the relationship.
But I will say this, and we have to be realistic and adults. If a man just openly says that you're going to say no, which means he shot his shot for no reason, so he has to come around the other way and give you what you're expecting him to say so that he can get what he's trying to accomplish.
And that's wrong.
Not really. If women were adults to say, okay, if he can find another woman who believes like he believes, then it's level playing field. But it's very difficult. But it's difficult.
Right. Absolutely. Because most women aren't like that. You have to, why don't he just leave that one person alone and keep looking for someone that is on the same playing field as him?
But I think what he's saying in that respect, though, just like women have changed their perspectives to say, I'm exhausted, I don't want a relationship, which women, I think you all have kind of encouraged me that y'all were designed for and built for these relationships. But I think now I'm hearing you guys say, look, y'all chilling and learning yourselves and y'all don't want all of that. But somebody got to get intimate sooner or later, because that nice view is going to at some point change when you're in the bed by yourself. And then what? Who do you call then?
That's the question. Is it what, and this is going with, go ahead, say it before I say it.
What, okay, Andre was saying that, or you guys were saying that men just can't come out and say that. I feel like I prefer a man to just say that if that's the case, because he never know. I might want just the same thing.
That was my question. Is there any woman on this call that will actually go feel that way, have that desire, and say, "Hey, look," what a man said, "Let's get it on."
No.
I mean, that's just me. That's just my stand. But some women are like that. I had a girlfriend, and we were just having a conversation one time, and I said, I understand how a girl can just sleep around. She said, you know what? I don't either, because I do that. And I said, what? You know what? Listen, I was sheltered. Okay, I was sheltered. I had 7 other sisters and 2 brothers, and we just didn't do it. My mom was a Christian lady, and my daddy was real strict, or he appeared very strict. And they says, oh no, you're not going to date nobody from that house right there. That their daddy is protective over them. So I didn't know. And then when I met this one girl, and I said, she just sleeping around with all these different people. And I was talking to a good friend, and she said, I don't understand it either, because I do that. So some don't, but I don't judge them if that's where you are.
Right.
But you run the risk of getting sick.
Yeah, it's something else.
We're past that 30 minute. We're into that 44 minute mark. So we want to start reeling this in. So we're going to skip 1 or 2 and get to, let's talk about online and offline dating. Online and offline dating. And when this is, again, talking about your experiences with it. If I don't know how many of you have had experiences with online dating. online dating now is one of the most popular way to find somebody outside of your circle. Because normally you're in your circle, you only meet the people that's in your general location or where you go, where you travel. But online dating gives you a chance to meet somebody outside of your circle. What are your thoughts about online dating? Somebody want to chime in on that?
Me? Can I?
Yes,
Go
you
ahead,
can.
help yourself.
Okay. Well, you know what? I never got into that because you can't trust people out here at this day and time. You know what I'm saying? They like a friend of mine had an experience where she had met this guy online, but when they finally got to meet each other face to face, he wasn't the picture that he showed was not even him, and he felt like because of his looks, he felt like he wanted the person to get to know him first before looking at him before how he looked. So you can't trust that.
They
And
didn't know him
I'm
after neither. If he put somebody else's face up, they didn't know him after neither.
I'm very skeptical of that myself. I would be very fearful, but I had I have a girlfriend and she did it twice. And so they went on, the relationship went back and forth for a while, and then they were going to meet up. And, he was whatever. She wound up sending him $10,000.
Whoa.
And no, I'm sorry, that was 12,000. That was the first one.
Whoa. What's your girlfriend name?
I ain't telling you.
You were wrong for that.
But she did something similar to that twice.
Wow.
She got money like that?
Well, she's working. She had a very good job working and saving it. I mean,
I don't think she was planning on giving it to a man. What
I didn't
was
know.
the ending results? What was the ending results with both of them?
She never did really meet up with them. He got the money. They didn't make the contact. They were supposed to be driving to another state, or he was coming here because something had happened.
Money for gas money. That was a lot of money for
It
gas.
happened, but anyway, it never materialized.
Oh,
okay. Any more?
I had a bad taste for that, dating online.
Or any more online dating experiences? Now, the reason why I ask you in that because it's been proven 23% of people meet online marries.
Wow.
23% of people meet online marries. And that's why online dating is such a powerful force now, because some people do really get connected on online dating. And it's working. Now, there's horror stories and challenges, but it does work. And that's why I'm talking about that.
The ones that work, the people, I guess they're honest people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of integrity.
Let's talk about offline dating. Offline dating. That's what does offline dating look right now for a Black lady in 2024?
Finding someone at the post office.
What now?
Finding someone at the post office.
Okay, that post. Hey, I always see lines in post office. You don't knock that. I see line in post office, and I remember the post office in Jacksonville. Goodness gracious, that was like a who's who. Because that post office was a 24-hour post office, and that post office, when you go in there at 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night, it's a line of people there. So, and they're very friendly. So don't knock the post office.
Oh, I'm not knocking it. Trust me, I'm not knocking it. But you asked for offline, and that is an offline example.
Yvonne, we haven't heard from you tonight, Yvonne. You had them pretty girls in the background. What are some of your thoughts about online or offline dating?
Is she on mute?
Yeah, there she go.
There she go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
I think some of you are stressing over nothing. What you need to do is just focus on being yourself. And anyone who can't accept you as you move on from them. But you don't ever stop being yourself. Because if you change yourself for someone and you really can't do that, maybe temporarily, it's not something that will last. Only thing you can have that will last is honesty.
Right.
Integrity. You're honest. And that person is honest, then you'll have a lasting relationship. But if you're not honest and you're changing yourself or they're changing themselves for you, that's not real. You have to be yourself. So don't stress about it. If you can't find someone who accepts you as you, then they don't deserve you. Move on.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you for that, Yvonne. Thank you. Annette, I think you had something, Annette. I saw your light come on. Do you have anything?
No, I didn't have anything in particular to say. However, I would say something as far as like with this online and just straight up meeting somebody. So online, you could be like what they have out here now, catfishing, somebody putting things out there about themselves that are not true. But you can also like you say, there are so many that meet that are true because they really divulged all their information and they matched. But in meeting someone straight up, you have to, it's a cat and mouse. You got to take a whole lot of just trying and hoping that this is the person or that's the person. But that is what we do traditionally. So it's just a matter of saying, hopefully this is the right person. Hopefully this is not just a make-believe, and then you just give and take. You give yourself and you either win, or you give yourself and you lose. So it's just either way. That's just the way it goes.
And thanks for putting that comment out there. Thanks for putting that comment out there. Okay, Andre, you want to share your comment, or you want to keep it? That thing you just texted, you want to share it, or you just want to keep it?
I was just gonna say I've kind of heard both sides of the coin. Like just this July, I'm going to a wedding of two people who met online. Both are socially awkward, but they're socially perfect for each other. On the other hand, I have a former student who went missing about 10 years ago. Her brother took her to meet a gentleman I guess they were supposed to meet, and she's never been seen since.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And that matter of fact, that's the next thing we have. It's called safety and well-being is the next category in this checkup. And in that it says prioritizing physical, emotional, and sexual safety in dating and relationships. This includes considering the impact on and what they call is intimate partner violence, with somebody beating you up, it's abuse. And it says disproportionate in Black women. They said more Black women suffer now with men beating them up than any other race right now. So, and if you do any kind of checkup on Black women's love life, that's one of the major concerns right now. How do you handle that? How do you handle that physical and that emotional abuse and sexual safety as a Black woman? Anybody want to cover that? Want to cover that, Glenda, or you and me cover it?
Well, see if someone in the
Anybody else in our audience want to cover it before we're talking more about that?
Want to chime in on that topic.
And the reason why we bring that up, because CDC has done a lot of reports and a lot of study on that, because that's almost an epidemic in the Black community, that a lot of Black females are being beat by Black men. Go ahead, Annette.
I didn't say anything, but yet and still, I personally experienced that for a while because that was pretty much something I saw when I grew up with my parents. So I kind of, for a little while, I would go through that when my mate was fighting me and I wouldn't fight back because I felt like, okay, I love him and he wouldn't hit me if he didn't love me. So I sort of accepted it until one day I decided to look in the mirror and I saw how I looked after he beat me. And I said, oh, hell no. It's goddamn, excuse my expression, but it's goddamn time I fight back. And when I fought back, I got so frightened because I saw that I could really kill this person, and this man didn't know this. So I said, oh no, it's time to separate now because this is not right. I'm going to kill you and then I'm going to jail. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a matter of we either know what we want from the beginning or we know what we think the design of the relationship's supposed to be. But for me, it was I had to grow into the design for what I decided the relationship needed to be.
Well, I know that for myself, when me and my husband had like one I think he slapped me one day, and then I punched him in the face and grabbed a knife to let him know, okay, that's your first hit, and it will be your last. And from that day on, he never hit me again. But thereafter, he would use his weight and his strength to restrain me. Because whenever we got in a heated discussion, I would walk away. It's like, you're going to talk to yourself, but I'm about to go, go in another room or separate, because I already know I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me. And the conversation is too heated for us to be in the same room and have this discussion right now. So I would rather separate. But then he would grab me and just put me in this bear hug. And it's like a wrestling move. So he got one hit, and I think I scared him when I grabbed the knife and hit him and, punched him in the face back. But after that, it was nothing but he was using his weight, his physical body to restrain me. And that was the remainder of our marriage. That's the only way that he could try to get me to stay in a room and have a conversation with him, because I just refused. It was too early. Sometimes you can't have a heated discussion with your partner at the time. You do need a time out to sort things out. Maybe one or both of you can come back when y'all have a sound mind and you both calm down, because you don't want to say or do something to the other person that you will regret. And that's where we were.
Right.
Now,
that's good.
Right now, we're getting to that last 4 minutes. We're going to end this out. As relationship coaches and counselors, we're supposed to tell you that anytime violence get involved, you're supposed to seek professional counseling where therapists, licensed therapists can work with you through that, because that's something they don't allow relationship coaches like myself and Glenda to work through, because they realize there's so much involved and so much needed that. So if you have any friends that you know that's being abused in that manner, please refer them to some professional help, because that's what they really need. Because no person deserves being beat by another person. There's no reason, no excuse for it, okay? All right, now let's go to end this up. We've had a great night. We've talked about Black Love Life Checkup. We talked about self-reflection, self-love. We talked about relationship goals and expectations. We talked about the communication and boundaries. We shared dating experiences and the support system for that. We talked about personal growth and happiness. We also talked about online and offline dating, and we talked about the safety and the wellness of that. So we had a great night. Look to see you guys next week, same time. Next week, our topic is going to be acknowledging your reality, where you recognize what an unhealthy relationship look like and what you should accept in those situations. Once again, it's going to be recognizing what unhealthy relationships look like and the importance of what you should accept in that. And we're going to go on a journey of reflection next week. So that's next Sunday at 9. Look to see you then. We want to thank all our audience for being here tonight.
Mr. Carpenter, real quick. What is next Sunday? Is something else going on next Sunday?
Next Sunday is what day? 25th?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Also, we're going to have a birthday party. We're going to celebrate Coach Glenda's birthday party next week, too. So, hey, please be there next week. We're going to have some fun. Bring your dancing shoes. Make sure you have some space carved out in your living room or your den or wherever you're looking at this set. Make sure you have some space out so you can dance. We're going to have a great time, so look forward to seeing you there. I almost forgot. Well, we might have to table that next one to the next week, because we're gonna do something with that. But next week, we're going to celebrate Coach Glenda. Coach Glenda, how will you be, Coach Glenda?
To be continued.
So thank you for your time, everybody. Hey, great night. See you next week. Again, appreciate you for being with us and being a host, being part of our thing. Next week, same place, same time. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night. Take care.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.